Hi everybody, welcome to our YouTube channel. This time we bring you from South Padre Island, which is at the very south point of Texas in the USA. We have been to Texas a number of times, but this is very much exploratory week for us on October half term. On the island for the very first time. We are very close to the Mexico border. We have been exploring the local area and we are amazed at how much there is to do here. We have seen the most beautiful sunrises and stunning sunsets every single day, as well as going on local activities, exploring the beach and also experiencing lots of local independent restaurants. We can't wait to share this with you. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and we look forward to sharing more adventures with you soon. This is the Queen Isabella Causeway, which is a bridge that connects Port Isabel to South Padre Island. It stretches almost 2.5 miles across Laguna Madre. This is the welcome sign onto the island. South Padre is a resort town in Cameron County, Texas. The population at the last census 5 years ago was 2,066, and the total area is around 4 square miles. The island is only accessible by the Queen Isabella Causeway, and it's become a popular tourist destination for both the spring and summer and for winter Texans as well. The temperatures on the island don't generally get below about 20 degrees throughout the year, so it's a great place to come for some winter sunshine from the UK. We stayed with friends in a condominium whilst we were on the island, and it was perfect for amazing sunrises from the front balcony and also incredible sunsets from the back balcony. We really felt truly blessed seeing this every single day of our trip. Having favoured sunsets for so long, I can truly say that nowadays I really love both. I think it was probably the whole thing around getting up early for a sunrise, but I really don't mind it these days. After a bite to eat on our first full day on the island, we headed to the beach. Come with us to South Padre Beach. The island is really narrow and you have the beach one side and the Laguna Madre the other side, and then down the middle of that is all of the condos and the shops and the activities. So you're never too far at all from water either side. As you can see here, the beach is really expansive. It wasn't too busy at all. It looks really windy, but it was a warm wind, because as you can also tell, we are in shorts and t-shirts and dresses, and so therefore the temperatures were still really warm. I think on this particular day it was about 26 degrees, and because of the warmth it was jellyfish season for a couple of days whilst we were on the island, where they get washed up because of the sea temperatures, and there were quite a lot along the shore, but 2 days later we did notice visibly the reduction in the jellyfish on the shore. We walked about 1 mile along the beach and paddled in the sea. It was a super lovely day. everybody, it's Sunday and it's day 2 of our trip, and Del and I have come out for a run along the beach. It's literally a 2-minute walk from the condominium that we're staying at, and as you can see it's sunrise time, so perfect timing. It's 7:15 in the morning. Generally speaking, I normally struggle running on the beach because of the sand being quite soft, but it was great on this beach because it was a really hard surface and it was quite flat, so it was a thoroughly enjoyable run. There was a large group of individuals in the water with a DJ on the side, which we think was probably a baptism. We made it to the end of the beach and walked along this little concrete pier to watch the sunrise come up and also some ships coming in. Just around the corner at the southern end of South Padre Island is the Jesus Christ of the Fisherman statue, and this was unveiled in 1999. This statue is to honour those who have been lost tragically at sea. On the second day in the early evening, we went on the original Dolphin Watch Sunset Cruise, and this started at 5:30 until 7 p.m. We had pre-booked our tickets online, so we had a short wait before we boarded the vessel and headed out to sea. We're on the original Dolphin Watch Tour, 5:30 till 7 on the Sunset Cruise. So we are hoping to see lots of dolphins and we will take you with us. We headed out of the harbour area. It was still warm with a gentle breeze coming through the boat. And as you can see here, there were many pelicans sitting on the jetties and also flying in the sky. These are pretty common in this area and they are such beautiful creatures to look at too. We had full commentary from the captain whilst we were on the cruise, and it wasn't too long before we started to see the dolphins in the wild. Just here in the background you can see the Queen Isabella Causeway, which connects South Padre Island to Port Isabel.
They said that we spotted the first dolphins, so we're still trying to find them.
Like 11 o'clock though. Like 56 yards.
There sure were quite a few pods of dolphins around, and it was so lovely to see. Of course there's lots of boats going out at this time, but I do feel like our captain really did do a great job of getting to the location first so that we could see the dolphins in their natural habitat before lots of other people came too. As the sun was setting, we got those all-important shots for our social media platforms, and this is a regular one of ours, the sunset in the heart. So we saw so many dolphins and we've just seen the most beautiful sunset, and now we're heading back to the harbour.
Everyone, we're at Turtle Sanctuary in South Padre Island. It's currently Tuesday, just turned 12:30, and we're going to go see what it's like. On arrival, we were greeted by this beautiful turtle, and all of the turtles here at the Sea Turtle Inc. are basically protected sea turtles through conservation, medical care, applied research and education. As you can see here, this turtle was missing one of her fins, and the Sea Turtle Inc. informed us that she is living a full life with them. This is the largest enclosed sea turtle hospital in the world, and this state-of-the-art facility spans over 15,000 square feet. The facility is incredible. As an organisation, they have rehabilitated and released 931 turtles. They have protected and released 3,439 hatchlings. They've had 139,000 visitors educated, and they've responded to 786 emergency calls. They have a number of volunteers, and they between them have volunteered 10,000 hours, and 15,000 students have been educated. We walked across the bridge to the other side of the Turtle Sanctuary, and here we learnt about some of the previous turtles that they have cared for. And we also watched and admired some of their current residents too. This one was definitely a favourite of ours, and certainly seemed to be drawing attention and looked like had a bit of an itch at one point. But when we had our photo taken by another visitor, it definitely looked like they were waving at the camera. So this one was a special turtle for us on the day. We spent around an hour at the Sea Turtle Inc. before we headed onwards up the island to the South Padre Island Adventure Park. There's lots to do here, including zip lining. We went inside to register for our horseback riding, and we also paid to go into the farm and feed the animals. It was extremely hot on this day, but as it's not a public holiday or any holidays in America, we pretty much had the place to ourselves prior to the ride, and so it was a really nice period of time just to feed the animals and see what was there before we got ready for our session. As you can see here, there were lots of goats and they were extremely hungry. The good thing about the entrance to this farm park was that we were able to top up on our cups of food as much as we wanted, and we did go back 2 or 3 times so that we could feed as many of these goats as possible. These tiny babies here were about 3 weeks old, and we were told by the owner that one of them had been abandoned by its mother, and so she had been caring for it at home, but it was time to put the baby back into the open area with all of the other baby goats so that it could become familiar with its territory. After this, we walked up to see the longhorn, which was huge, and we hadn't ever previously got up so close. We had seen longhorns in Texas, in Fort Worth, but this one was on its own and was very interactive with us once we got it from the backfield to come up towards us. This park is also a horse ranch, and there were many here. You can see how well cared for they are, and there are daily multiple sessions to go horseback riding on the beach at sunrise, sunset, and also at other points in the day too.
Hi everyone, we are at the Island Adventure Park and we've just been in the petting zoo ahead of our horseback ride at 3:30.
Us and the horses got kitted up and we were given a horse relevant to our height, and it wasn't long before we headed out. There were 2 instructors, one at the front and one at the back, and they led us through the ranch, across the fields and on to the beach. This was for all types of individuals, whether you had ridden before or not. They do say it's a good idea if you have been on a horse previously. Fortunately for us, Rion has had many lessons over the years, and I also have horse ridden a few times, and I must say that these horses were generally all well behaved and just like to follow each other. My horse definitely had an intuition that Rion was ahead of me. She stayed with him at all times on the way up the beach. However, she had different ideas coming back, and because we turned round and was at the front, she wanted to be leading the pack.
Hey everybody! From my horseback riding along the beach. I'm on Penny, Rion is on Trigger, and we are having the most amazing ride. They're all behaving, and we're literally just by the sea, and yeah, we're out for an hour, so a good amount of time.
Penny certainly picked up the pace. We did do a few trots and it was really enjoyable and gave me more confidence on riding, which is always a good thing. Was that then?
That was amazing. I had a smile on my face for all of it.
Did you do some cantering?
Yeah, I was quick.
Now this was a very spontaneous activity. We had met a couple from Liverpool in England at the ice cream shop earlier in the day, and they had told us that they had been on the helicopter ride and recommended it. So we went in and there was a tour just coming back and we were next out. So we thought, right, we might as well do this. Be in the moment and let's go and experience the South Padre Island from up above. After a brief safety demonstration, we headed out to board the helicopter. We were given the option of taking the flight with one or both of the doors taken off, but we decided not to. We wanted to feel secure inside the cab. Rion was given the front seat next to the driver and Del and I were both in the back. We got in and it was soon time for liftoff. Our helicopter pilot was from California. He has been living and working on South Padre Island for the past year. He was really complimentary about the area and said that the cost of living was much lower to that of California. And he was most certainly planning to stay close by South Padre Island for the foreseeable. He was a wealth of information. He gave us lots of recommendations for restaurants and places to visit, both on the island and also at Port Isabel. As you can see from this footage, we went the whole length of the strip of South Padre Island down to the end where we had previously run for the sunrise. You can also see here the condo that we were staying in, as well as the Spacex launch facility and Tesla production facility too, just in the background there at Boca Chica. From up above you can really appreciate the narrowness of the island, and as I was saying earlier, one side ocean and the other side the Laguna Madre. The pilot did tell us that there had been a few incidents with sharks and that they had spotted some from high above. However, this has been very few and far between, and more typically because of the warmer winters and the temperatures of the sea, and that generally it wasn't really anything to worry about. At the top end of the island here, as you can see, there are lots of new developments going on, and the house prices have certainly crept up, but it is a lovely area to live, especially for those that have second holiday homes. We took the last of the views in before turning and landing back at base. It was an awesome flight, and we are so glad we did this spontaneously. So today we are heading on a bay fishing tour. This was at Rion's request, so hopefully we're going to catch lots of fish. We can do catch and release, or we can keep our catch. So we are going to see how much we catch and then take it from there. This is our boat that we went on for a couple of hours in the afternoon, and surprisingly, for it being off season, there were many of us on board. Rion chose to sit at the back of the boat so that we could have one rod to the side and the other one to the back, and this worked really well with the seat as well.
We've just started our way out, and hopefully we'll take an eat in 45 minutes.
As we headed out of the marina, the staff started to fill up the bait boxes, and this was with frozen shrimp that soon defrosted in the Texas heat. Here you can see some pelicans flying across the water, and probably because of the boat stirring up getting their fish. And here you can see the Tesla factory and also the Tesla Spacex launch pad. That is located in Boca Chica, which can be accessed from going off of the island and round. So Rion is a fairly frequent fisherman with his granddads, especially during the summer months, and he's certainly built up a lot of confidence with fishing. For me, this was my third time, and I must say it does get more and more exciting each time that I do it. And here we had some training being undertaken by the US Navy and Police Coast Guard. So this was our second spot, just under the Isabella Causeway, which you can see here. And Rion was the first person to catch the first fish. However, it was a catfish, and so it was released straight back into the sea. Actually, the majority of the fish caught on this afternoon were indeed catfish, but there were a couple of other baby rays and also a couple of other smaller fish. We had 2 staff on board, and actually they were fabulous. I think it's probably a bit difficult for them at this time of year with it being so quiet in the trips, and also just generally out at sea. But it didn't help that we had a storm come in, and so it had churned the sea up, and it was not as clear as it normally would be.
I catch?
One, but I'm very proud of you because you caught one. And it was like your first.
You caught the first one of the whole boat.
First of
Yeah.
So in total we went to 3 different spots on this fishing trip before heading back into the marina, and it really was a nice chance for Rion and I to do an activity together, which he enjoyed very much. It was a shame we didn't catch any more, but oh well, it is the luck on the day, isn't it? And these guys certainly thought their luck was going to be in, but unfortunately nothing was brought back, so nothing was going to be gutted to take home on this occasion. Later that evening we headed to Gravity Park. This is just along from where the condominium was that we were staying, and there are a few attractions here such as the big wheel and also a seat bungee, and the boys along with our friends decided that they wanted to do the go-karting and also the crazy golf. So that's what we done, and it certainly passed a good hour and a half, and this was the one that stole the show. The boys absolutely loved this 3-story go-kart track and had a great time. Next up was the Crazy Golf. This was actually an 18-hole course. There were definitely some more competitive players than others, and for me it was quite hard to keep track of the scores. We were a group of, I think it was about 10, and so this took a little bit longer than expected, but it was thoroughly enjoyable, and we just managed to get it wrapped up in time for our wing stop pickup and to head back to the condominium for the Friday night fireworks. So these fireworks take place around about 9:15 every Friday night. I'm not sure whether it might be seasonal, but obviously we were there at the end of October, and it lasted just under 10 minutes. I must say, for a free fireworks show, to sit and watch them from the balcony, they were spectacular. So as with most places we go to, we tend to do a little bit of research before we go, but we also like to stumble across some local gems. This one did come up on our Instagram page, and we were keen to try it, as we do like to sample ice cream wherever we go. And this one was really good, nice and colourful, a great selection of ice creams. And what we really liked about it was the fact that every table had some games, and so you could sit and play those whilst you were eating your ice cream and just spending time as a family. It of course was the famous Bluebell ice cream, which we do love, and we all got to choose our favourites.
I got cookies and cream, and I got chocolate chip and cookie dough. It's like a Ben & Jerry's, but better.
This was the fantastic Kohnami, which is a Japanese restaurant and grill, but also has teppanyaki tables, and we had booked a space around a table with some other people, which was super lovely because it was a group of 4 women who were celebrating a birthday. Our teppanyaki chef was actually the owner, and he was absolutely brilliant. He had some of the old traditional teppanyaki lines, but also some great original ones too. And we had a thoroughly enjoyable evening with him, with our friends, family, and also the ladies on our teppanyaki table. As you can see, they always start with the lighting of the flame, and then it tends to be the rice with the egg and the rest of the vegetables before they then go on to do the meats or the fish. And yeah, it's just a really nice, enjoyable, entertaining dinner out. And these ladies were having a great night, and it was lovely to be able to hear them talk about their employer, HEB, who they've all worked for a long time, and how they loved being part of the team there. Being the big meat eaters that we are, we all went for chicken or steak or a bit of both. And I have to say, the filet steak was fantastic and was cooked to perfection. Along with the rest of the meal, which was the vegetables and the rice, and of course some of the teriyaki sauces. It was very flavoursome, and we really thoroughly enjoyed it. Another restaurant that we were recommended was Jake's Restaurant and Bar. This is situated on the main island road and has been there for a long time. 1982 it was established, and it serves real home, hearty Texan food and also home cooked favourites. And we went there for lunch one day. As you can see, it was fairly quiet. We were early, but also it's quite low season at the moment. But you can also just see the menu choices here, which were lovely. And we opted to order some drinks first, which was a local IPA, as well as a frozen strawberry daiquiri, whilst we waited for our dinner. Del chose to have the liver bacon, mash and onion gravy, and I opted to go for the local caught fish and chips. It was very big portions and I couldn't get through it all, but it did taste good. And this is also a bar where lots of sports are watched, and there's a lovely big bar area which I'm sure does get very busy of evenings and weekends. Oh, and now moving on to the baked bear. the one that a lot of people talk about in this area. It is freshly baked cookie ice cream sandwiches, and they also do ice cream with cookies warmed up on the bottom and the ice cream melting on top. You can choose from a variety of different cookies, all freshly baked on the premises in the day, and also different flavoured ice creams which you can choose two from. And so we all made our choices. You can choose a different cookie on the top to the bottom. Oh, and there was also brownies. You can have brownies with ice cream too.
Butter cookies.
That's good. I got toasted s'mores, caramel pretzel fudge, and then for my cookie I got Cookie Monster and Nutella cookie.
I went with the recommended butter cookie, and it was super, along with 2 different types of ice cream. And Dell went for also 2 different types of cookie with 2 different types of ice cream too, and he had the M&Ms on the side as a topping.
So this is pretty special. Never ever have I had anything like this in my life.
So Baked Bear was a big hit for us, but I would say in future I would share one for sure. We went to check out Clayton's beach bar. It is the biggest beach bar in Texas, and it really was humongous. I can imagine in the summertime this being pretty chaotic, but we decided to go down there for the sandcastle competition, which had been done a couple of weeks prior to our arrival and was still on display. So we had a great time looking around all of these and just admiring the works of art. And of course, these events wouldn't happen without being sponsored, and all of the local businesses were part of this. So it was really great to see all of this being brought together and people respecting the area and all of the wonderful creations. And each creation did have the name of the person that designed and created it. And yeah, these were spectacular and a great sight to see. As the sun was setting, we decided to get a drink here and also some tortilla chips. So I went for a alcoholic daiquiri. We got Rion a virgin one. They were the best daiquiris I have ever tasted. They were very strong, although they didn't seem it to begin with. And Dell, of course, had a beer. The tortilla chips, I've got to say, were a little bit disappointing actually. Not great, and the salsa was extremely spicy. I think for what we paid, they didn't really match up to what we were expecting. However, we did take in the atmosphere and the ambiance, which was nice. I can imagine it's normally a lot busier, a lot more noisy, and yeah, a different experience. Next up, Dirty Owls. Now, when we were doing our research, this was the most popular video on YouTube, and so we felt like we needed to be part of the experience and to head down to Dirty Owls and see what it was all about. We didn't have a reservation for this restaurant, and we didn't feel that we would need to, and we didn't. We were seen to a seat straight away. It did feel a little bit basic, stripped back, industrial maybe, but it definitely felt like a local kitchen with freshly caught fish, and we were there for it all.
Good. Yummy. Shrimp tacos. What's Rion got?
I've got grilled chicken tacos, and this is like a really nice garlicky sauce.
Daddy's got blackened fish. Oh my god, these look insane. How am I going to even finish them?
Here we are at Mahi Nics, and this one was very much off of a whim. We decided to go here and sit and watch the sunset and enjoy a lovely meal in the marina. It is not open every day, and it is only open for certain times during the day, but we managed to get some food and drinks before it did close. As you can see, it's not a huge menu. However, it was a very mouth-watering menu. And we sat right on the front row. I must say, you do need to be cautious of seagulls. They were plentiful, certainly watching our every move. Rion and I went for lemonades, one raspberry, one strawberry, and they were on free refills, so I highly recommend them, and they were much needed refreshing drinks in the sunshine for us. Rion chose to have nachos and barbecue wings for his dinner, and Del and I decided to go for the mega burger with chips and share it. Oh my goodness, never ever seen chips like it. They were fabulous, and the burger was probably the best burger we have ever tasted. I managed not even half and not even 2 chips. Gabriella's, one that's recommended by lots of people to go and experience. We had our last meal on the island here, and it was very nice. Well, these were the Italian nachos. Huge, made out of fresh pasta, and tasted divine. The mains were chicken pesto pasta, chicken masala, pepperoni pizza, and not forgetting my absolute all-time favourite, chicken parmigiana. On to the Sunrise Bakery. We had actually discovered this on the very first morning that we had woken up on the island at South Padre, but it was closed. It opens super early, but it also closes at lunchtime. Everything is made on the premises on the day, and it is very artisanal. There are lots of beautiful pastries and cakes, and they were a very hard choice to make. On the top of the counter here were the previous day goods, which they mark down by 50%, and we were told that the coffee here was exceptionally good. So we decided to have a coffee in and take out our cakes back to the condo to share with our family and friends. Now, we were in our gym gear because we did run there and felt less guilty of these delicious treats. And here you can see the lady topping our cinnamon bun with the vanilla cream topping. So there you have it, our week on South Padre Island, exploring all that the local area has to offer, including some incredible restaurants, which we ate some fantastic food in. Thank you for watching. Thanks for all your likes, comments and subscribes. We really appreciate it, and we hope to see you on our channel again very soon.